Welcome back to the pod. Y'all are just checking in with your two favorite people on the internet or over the speakers, depending on how you are consuming this podcast. It is everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Don Don, yours truly, right here in the virtual flesh. I am joined by my virtual half, my good brother Paul, aka
Mr. Qualified, how y'all doing? Good afternoon or morning, whenever you're listening or watching this. How'd it do?
Greetings.
Salutations.
Man, what's going on? How you been? How was this week?
Whew. This week was good in comparison to some of the other weeks. Yeah, good all around. A bit tired, like not a bad tired, nothing crazy, nothing drastic, but definitely a little exhausted. But that's kind of how this week was for me. What about you?
Uh, Today, if I can authentically speak, I don't feel that hot, right? I woke up, I said I'm not camera ready. There's still a do-rag line across my forehead, which is why I have decided to possibly premiere a hat for the first time on the podcast. And I think I got a little muscle spasm going on, so I can barely move. Like my back is like it's kind of fucked up a little bit right now. So if I might be wincing and crying aloud, but this week was great. I got a chance to go to yet another Survivor watch party. And leave me alone, okay? I'm in a lot of pain. I'm just really trying to
It's
work
just
through.
the way you snuck that in there.
If you know, you know, you know.
Indeed,
It,
indeed.
it is what it is. But the highlight to my week was going to yet another Bryson Wynn present Survivor watch party. So got to, rub shoulders with some current and former players, mix and mingle with my, as I call them, TV friends.
TV Friends is crazy. I did see that you were within community once again. And every time I see you at one of these events, I'm just like, one, this man is an actual celebrity. Two, the celebrity hosts something down. They ain't just getting anybody to host these large gatherings of people who have been on this major show and that all come back to talk about said show, past, present, and future. I call that celebrity status. But but no, I was gonna ask though, like, how does it feel to be in a community like that in general? And yes, as a fan, but like knowing that you also want to participate, like just what is it like to actually be really accepted like into that, community with past people who have actually been on the show, things of that nature, et cetera.
You know what? If it is nice to have community. Like Survivor is my football, right? So when everybody goes to the sports bar or whatever and they watching the game on Sunday, like this is what I do on Wednesday. So I don't have a whole lot of friends that watch Survivor. I talked to maybe one or two that catch an episode here and there. So I don't even have a local like community of Survivor. So when these watch parties start popping up, I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a ticket. I'm gonna just step out my comfort zone, go to a place where I don't know anybody, and then go from there. But you go there, you meet a couple people, you connect, you go to the next function that they have, and then one of the former players, Bryce, who is one half of the team who hosts the things, he was like, "Hey, I see you coming to the event. Would you want to take over our social media?" I'm like, well, "What's that mean?" He like, just take some pictures, some videos, interview a couple people, do whatever, just to get some fan footage throughout. And I was like, sure, why not? So now I've been doing that for 3 seasons. Um, but it's cool because they actually know me by Uncle Don Don, and a couple people there have even mentioned like, "Oh shit, you the podcast guy, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Okay, we got 12 people watching and not 11. This is great." Um, but no, it is cool. Survivor is my like TV alpha. That is the
Makes
best way
sense.
I can say that. Like the community that I feel within Alpha is what I feel like I have just merely as a fan of
Mhm.
Survivor within this, but like to have known people who have played and stuff like that, it also like humanizes the show. It's not like, oh my God, these people on TV. It's like, now these just some regular people that just got lucky enough to get picked to be on this game show that I want to be on. But yeah, no, it's my reality TV fraternity.
That makes a lot of sense. And it do be funny because I don't know why. I think it's easy to forget that with game shows and with TV shows, but like these do be regular people with regular jobs that be living in, your normal city. Like you said, they just happen to get picked for this game show, and either make it far or win or become notable enough for, people who wouldn't have known them otherwise to care about what they got going on. But no, that's cool. That's what's up. Because I was gonna ask how long you have been doing it, but for 3 seasons. So is that about 3 years, give or take, so to say?
Um, well, it's 2 seasons a year, but it just depends
Okay.
on how often they come to Chicago. I
Okay.
think consecutively it has been 3 seasons, so a year and a half. But
Okay.
they started coming to Chicago shortly after I moved here, so like that was cool. And it's like, oh my God, like, dude, how do you go up to? It's all awkward as hell too. Like, oh hey, I see you on TV. Can we take a picture? But you just realize these are regular people and they want to have a good time, see themselves on TV, first of all. So it's like they're watching their probate all over again. And and then they just want to drink with you and you're like, oh my God, this was fun. And it is what it is. So it's very that. But I will manifest this and say, I hope to go from taking over the Instagram to actually taking over CBS and being on the show because if this is alpha, I chased alpha for 6 years, right? It wasn't meant to, it was meant to be, but it didn't happen when I wanted it to.
Mm.
I feel like Survivor is meant to be, that it's something that is a part of my experience in life. It just has not happened yet, and it hasn't been my time. So CBS, Jeff Probst, Jesse Tannenbaum, Penny, whoever it is hearing this, like I'm still waiting on my call. Like,
I am crying. No, that makes a lot of sense. I forgot what my first question was, but I did want to ask you, what is oh, that's what it was. First and foremost, for the people that call you the podcast guy, I'm just going to assume that one is 12 people listening instead of 11, and two, in some way, form, or fashion in the universe, that's gonna help you get on the show. Like some type of recognition. Like they gonna take clips from the podcast. That's gonna be your audition tape, and then you're gonna be good to go to get on Survivor. Uh,
whoever gets me to the finish line.
right. But what would you say is the biggest lesson or takeaway you've had from talking with those who have been on the show? Like as somebody who wants to be on the show, what's like, yeah, just one of the biggest takeaways or lessons in regard to either one, what it may take to get on there, two, just a lesson in general that somebody has had from being on the show, perspective after the show. Like, what's kind of the thing that's resonated with you the most from being in that space with those people?
Two things. The first one, as cliche as it sounds, is to be yourself. Like they be like, oh no, if you want to apply, like just be yourself. They're just looking for real people. And I'm like, okay, but real people ain't getting on TV because real people are sitting at home, right? But the more that I have gone and the more that I've been around them, I feel like I have been more of myself. And as I have, attempted to audition and all those things, I feel more and more myself in the materials that I see. And so I get that. But then I did meet MC. She was the player that just got eliminated this past episode. And I asked her, I said, if you did it, like, what would you do different? And she's like, I would trust people more. In
Hmm.
a game where you can't trust nobody,
Right.
I would trust people more. And I thought about that in my real life. I'm navigating as my community is changing and shifting. I just had therapy yesterday.
Hmm.
As that is changing and shifting and we're evolving as people and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm reminded to trust myself, but also trust the people around me more. So
Yeah. No, that's real. I'm trying to debate whether I kind of want to lean into that more or save it and circle back to it. But knowing us, we gonna forget, so we might as well lean into it now. But no, that whole like trusting people more and community changing. Um, is something I feel like I'm kind of in the midst of as well. And I think that there's a layer of it where it's like, if you're a person that doesn't like to ask for help or like feels a way about asking for help, like there comes a point of like trusting people more within that. But I think in general, like kind of to the concept of within the game, like she said, like you're you're kind of told to be guarded and not trust people as much or not give people as much access. But in the inverse, I think that's just more about discernment. Like you should trust people more and just have the discernment to know which people to, kind of allow into that space and to trust more and which ones to not. But it is necessary. And you do need that community that people, those people to trust. But yeah, how has that changing of community impacted you? How have you been navigating that? Because I feel like we've touched on it in some way, form, or fashion, I'm sure, but as adults, navigating a changing community when stability is what you kind of aim for, as an adult is, double-edged sword. So how have you been navigating that personally?
Trying to balance longevity and quality.
Mm, okay.
You and not even just friends, but family included, but people that you have had in your life for X amount of years.
Yeah.
It is this assumptive math that they will be there forever. And if they are there forever, that they will be there in the same way that it was 10 years ago. You have changed for the better or worse.
Mhm.
You have to assume they have changed for the better or worse. Maybe not intentional, but I mean, we're legit adults now, right? Life circumstances just take us in different directions.
Yeah.
Is the quality of that connection the same? So it's proximity over intentionality. Like my core, I feel like a lot of my core people are not in Chicago. I do have a couple people here that's in my base, but I mean, hell, you
Okay.
hundreds of miles away.
It's
So
true.
I still have a Chicago community, but it's different. I got you there, Boy in Atlanta, Lawrence in Florida. Like everybody is a little bit of everywhere, and it's not just the three of y'all, but yeah, I also don't like to be disappointed the same way twice. So when, let's say I invite you somewhere and
Mm,
you happen to not come three times,
mm.
I don't love you any less, but I won't invite you again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that'll do it. I think you touched on a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have been able to articulate, but I feel like I've felt in that change for me. Longevity and quality are definitely aspects of it because I think, as far as like friendships or just community and how it's built, I know that there are different sectors and like eras of friendships and where friends come from. And I know not all friends come in the same, shape or size or in the same way, but I think I've always had this idea that like once we get locked into a certain degree, that then there's a rise in expectation, and therefore there's now I'm expecting you to be around. I'm expecting those adjustments to be made. I'm expecting, there to be a desire to do the work to keep the friendship, equal, balance, things of that nature. But to your point of just, to your point about how life changes, people change for the better or the worse, intentional or unintentional. And it ultimately coming down to you having to make the decision of, okay, where do you stand? Like for you, if you know, like you get disappointed by XYZ, maybe that's your boundary. And that's how you kind of use the discernment to say, okay, there'll never be love lost per se, but this is the bucket I got to put you in now. I'm terrible at putting people in buckets. Horrible. I just keep everybody in a big group, and I just feel like if you in this group, everybody should act accordingly because you in this group. I made this decision for you to be in this group. But just another, lesson learned as well. But yeah, I think a large part of the community aspect for me has been where I've been and how long I've been there. And so as much as even with people leaving and spreading their wings and things like that, like relationships have stayed intact. There's an aspect of me starting to feel like I'm the stability, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I like it. I don't, but it also like it may not be a bad thing either because if there was somebody to be in a space like this and be the stability and own that, I feel like I've been built for that. Like it would make sense for anybody that knows me. So it's one of them things where it's like, I guess this is just what this is. I'll just take this on the chin and move on, I guess. But yeah.
I'm smiling because I feel like I'm talking to myself 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And that is exactly where I was like, oh, if anybody could be the stability, it should be me. And I can do that. It's like, nah, you don't have to be the martyr for the situation. Like you can still have a boundary and figure that out. Because if and when you decide to move to a different city and take another job or do whatever, however your life changes, if you are not locally where you are right now, it is going to shift abruptly. And it's not even that it's a bad thing that is happening. It's just you have been there for X amount of time.
Yeah.
I was in Missouri for 13 years to the month. 13 years to the
Woo.
month. Most
Yeah.
of that was spent in Columbia.
Mm.
And I had the hardest time in 2021 because
Mm.
I said, what? I felt like a stork had came to pick me up and drop me off on somebody else's doorstep. I was a brand new adult baby in the world. I didn't know what to do. I
Yeah.
was like, well, Chicago was home. Like, I know people, I have family, I have friends, but everything that you had like fostered up until that point feels over, feels done, and you press restart. But connections, relationships, friendships, family, however you want to call it, like they don't exist healthily organically, right?
Mhm.
You have to water. Plants just don't grow because you say, photosynthesis. Like you still have to water them for them to grow, right? Your car does not just drive in perpetuity, right? You have to put gas in it before it's on E. You got to get a tune up for the engine or whatever. Like tune up your friendships, tune up your connections. You can't just be like, oh shit, we've been friends since 97. I got my old Cadillac and it's good. You rode it till the wheels fell off. How do you pimp my ride now? Like
No, for real. No, those are great analogies. And I think it just speaks to the idea that I think we all get this understanding that life will take its course and life will do what life will do, but our adjustments and reactions to life have to remain intentional. And I think that we all probably have intentional seasons, and you can account for seasons where you just not at your best or you got things going on, distracted, whatever, that'll happen. But I think the idea of, or the act of more so, of just keeping that intentionality as much as possible, or at least keeping some level of it and not just letting life happen, essentially, is key. And it's even more key because, yes, you take care of yourself, all of that stuff. But two, I feel like what we've talked about, and really the main purpose of this podcast is check in with your people. Like you, I don't think there's a lot of people that truly survive or are living life to the fullest without community, like in some way, form, or fashion. Some people's community may be, larger than others, but you need some sense of community, some sense of people that get you, that know you, but aren't you. You know what I'm saying? Like people need that, like real life in real time reassurance in human form. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what people need. But yeah, but it's crazy because that does segue into some questions. I don't know how long ago I wrote this, but I came across them at work. I don't know what I was watching, what came across my mind, but I always have questions that I'm like, I gotta ask Donald on the pod because I'm checking in. But what is some advice that you would give to your younger self? Like I know you just talked about feeling like you talking to me, like five, like talking to yourself 5 years ago. But yeah, like what's some advice you would give to your younger self?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a wealth of knowledge, like nuggets of knowledge to share, and I do not know. And it's funny that you asked this because I was on Twitter, not X. I was on Twitter, scrolling the other day, and there was a post that said, in 3 words only, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? And I got ready to put something up there and couldn't think of nothing. I bookmarked it and have not gone back to it. What would I tell my younger self? With no word limit, get your shit together and find some structure. Like I thought that I was like on top of things, because I was like things just came to me relatively easily. Like I didn't have to work for anything, not too hard.
Mm.
So I took that into college, and let me tell you, into college, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
Okay. It worked me. It turned me every which way but loose.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like if I had somebody to like provide structure for me and to like willingly submit to authority. I wasn't averse to authority figures, but everybody bypassed me because it was like, oh, Donald, he's good. So I remained unchecked.
Mhm.
So if I could tell myself something, maybe get your shit together, go find some structure and like check yourself.
Nah, that's super real. And I think it's funny how you always think in certain eras that you have things together and then you get older and you like
Ah.
was getting by. I was just getting by. You tell me by the grace of God, truly. Um
I wasn't even getting by. I was standing there like Summer Walker. The world was just happening around me. Like,
for real. But that idea of kind of that idea of being good or carrying yourself in a way where people are kind of like, oh yeah, like he's fine or like they're fine. I definitely relate to that and that resonates with me because I was talking to my best friend the other day and I was basically in so many words saying the same thing. I said, I feel like I carry a lot so well. Like I'm open and I'm vulnerable, but like if I'm not telling you that specifically, one would assume that like, oh, he's good. Like Qualls is always good. Qualls is always working on something. Qualls is always like, he's cool. Like he's good. And it's like, I am, but like I'm not. Like, I'm not good for real. Like I really need somebody to hit me up. Like, hey, dog, get get it together, man. Like not even get it together. Like you doing something wrong, but
right.
it's like tighten up. Like let's keep like keep pushing. Like you got more. You got a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So
In the words of Boyd.
we could complete side note. I really wanted to wait. I really wanted to wait till a milestone episode to bring him on. And the only reason he truly has not been on yet is because we really want to do it in person. But we might just have to get him on the Zoom. We just gonna have to make it happen because it, he has to. He has to be. But yeah, so I definitely can relate to that. I don't necessarily know the advice I'd give to my younger self either. I think for me personally, I probably would tell my younger self to probably have better discernment, honestly. Because I at first I was gonna say be more guarded, but it's like no, like I really like something I really like about me is the fact that I've never been too guarded. Now, I have been too open, but that's where the discernment comes in. I just wish I would just tell him like because what you have is so rare, especially in the male space and the black male space, just have better discernment with giving people access to that and allowing people to kind of like because you're allowing people to see so much of you, you kind of have to have the discernment of like you can carry it, and you can figure out how you want to manage it. But in terms of what you show and give to other people, just be able to practice discernment, a little earlier than when then the light bulb clicked for me. But yeah, that's yeah.
Two things I say it all the time. Two things can be true. You can be good and still need help. So somebody just like check in, right? Hence the
Yeah.
podcast. But yeah, I think if I now go back in my bookmarks and retweet that with my three words, it would be speak up always because I was telling the truth and lying at the same time, right? Like two things can be true. I was lying my ass off and I was out here living my truth at the same time. Like how to balance those two because I felt like a certain situation could handle the truth and a certain situation couldn't. So I would spare people of whatever could come from, telling the truth and they couldn't handle it or something like that. So yeah, I was, I,
Telling the truth and lying at the same time is literally the epitome of two things can be true.
which is why circling back full circle, I would be great on Survivor.
This is this is true. This will work.
Yes, and yeah, I generally can tell when other people are lying, which is more important. Um, but yeah, two things can be true. I can tell you a lie and a truth in the same sentence. I'm
Indeed.
not proud of it. I'm not gloating. I just at 35, I know my report card. Okay.
You got to. At that point, you should be well in tune with your grades, with your report card. Uh the other question, which is more adjacent than directly related, when did you learn not to take things personal? When did that light bulb fully come on for you?
Um, Great question. Guess who's stumped? Insert trauma laugh. When did I stop taking things personal? Somewhere maybe between 27 and 30, probably closer to 30. Um, Actually, let's go with 30. I think at 30, it was like shedding snake skin. I was just like, maybe it was delusion, but I was like, it's not me. The way you responded to me, the way you acting, the way you moving, it's not me.
Mhm.
It's gotta be you. So I mean, I guess I'm just a punching bag, but it ain't me. So I didn't take it personal. I lived in Delulu land until it became true, I suppose. What about you?
Yeah, the trend of that happening at 30 seems to be true because almost everybody who I've talked to that's either right there or like yeah, anybody in between like 30 and 35 has kind of spoken to like yeah, like at 30, like I was talking to one colleague and they was like, yeah, I woke up on my 30th birthday and was like, yeah, fuck it. Nothing matters. It don't matter. And I was just like, I could see it though. And I don't, it may not be the age, it may just really be the experiences that
Yeah.
you've probably had up to that point. But it just maybe in the spirit of trying to enter a new era, a new chapter, so to say, it's just like, like it don't matter. It really don't matter. And it don't. And I think for me, I was gonna say somewhere in this calendar year, probably is when it really clicked for me, like,
As
my feelings about something like it's not personal, so I should be able to express myself without them being able to use that against me. And then when people are expressing themselves or have a feeling about whatever, if it is personal, I guess let me know and be explicit about that. But I'm not going to inherently think that that's the case just because you're saying something that sounds weird or sounds bad or that I don't like initially or whatever the case may be. So yeah, this somewhere in this calendar year, and I think the trend was starting. I was seeing the inklings, but the light bulb officially came on at 29 for me. So
Mhm. I say this generally, but I'm only speaking from my experience. As you age, you do more and you care less. So I feel like I am more present than I have ever been, but I also care a hell of a lot less than I do because what you got going on, it can't affect me. It not that, it could, but it cannot. Like I refuse in terms of like a block, a boundary, a blockade. Like what you are doing cannot affect me because what you are doing has really nothing to do with me. I may be, intertwined in it somehow, but it's it's my life. It's my world. I'm the epicenter of what I have going on, and y'all just have to orbit around me. I can't just be floating around like that damn cow and twister in your life. Like that's not gonna work. So whatever you got going on can't affect me. So I don't care no more. I really don't.
nah, yeah, that's real. And you can't care. And you learn that as time goes on. And I guess you accept that whenever you accept it. But yeah, can't care. Can't care at all. As we check out, talked about a lot. Talked about some really good things too, may I add. But whether we are like considering the advice to our younger selves, whether we are considering taking things personal, whether we are considering, anything from the standpoint of like community changing and things of that nature, as we check out, what are some of your takeaways from the conversation?
So many things. I would say to figure out how you want to move forward. Wherever you're moving forward from, just like MC said, like I wish I trust people more. Trust yourself in every environment that you are in, at the decisions that you're making. All right. And know that you can be the same person and communicate with six different people, six different ways. That's my checkout. That's my takeaway. Do with that as you see fit.
Um, Kind of really like following up with that, consistently practice discernment because your discernment will look different upon environment and it will change and evolve as you change and evolve. As your boundaries change, as you get comfortable with more, as you realize maybe not what you're uncomfortable with, but what you don't like kind of to that boundary point, try to make it a point to be intentional about where am I with my discernment on things based on where I am, whether that be like where I am internally, with things with myself or the environment I'm in, things of that nature. I truly do think discernment is key, is king, if you will. But
It's Martin Luther.
definitely Martin Luther, big Martin Luther, not the little Luther. But but yeah, until and until next episode, we will catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.